All right, what's good, everybody? The last fight I'm gonna go over from episode 10 is the Joshua Newsom versus Raiden Bombardier fight. This was another really quick one. Um, Josh in the first round got a knockout win versus Fabricio, and it was a good fight. It was an entertaining fight. He looked pretty good in it. He did have a foul on both sides, offense and defense, and there was like one other strike, I believe, if I remember correctly, that kind of looked like it could have been a club to me from Josh, but he still came out of it looking good. He showed he had a chin. He did also have a flinching foul, but it was definitely his first time. So despite the fouls, he still came out looking good. But this was a statement win by him, man. I thought he looked like a different kid. In that amount of time, like the adjustments that he seemed to make was impressive. And he kind of snuck under the radar for me coming out of the first round in his like weight division. But dude, he ended up coming out of it looking like one of the biggest stars. So yeah, amazing performance by him. Couldn't get much better. And then for Raiden in the first round, he fought Neil and won a 3-round decision in a good, entertaining, exciting fight. Um, so this fight was at middleweight, and so I love Raiden, but he doesn't belong anywhere near middleweight in my opinion. Like not even close. I believe in the first round he was supposed to fight at 170, and he was cutting a bunch of weight, but they didn't want him to continue because he was just cutting too much weight. Um, I personally think that Raiden should be fighting at 55. I think that if he was in like the best shape he possibly could, it would do him a lot of good. I think that like in this middleweight fight, you'll see that he was just undersized, and the size that was holding it together was not necessarily the best weight that you want to carry. Doesn't really do you any good as far as like slap fighting goes to carry excess weight that's not muscle. So yeah, it was definitely a size mismatch in my opinion in this one, and so at the very least, I'd like to see Raiden move down to 170, preferably 155 eventually. But I did hear he announced that he's fighting at Power Slap 10. So dude, congratulations on that. Can't wait to see you fight. He Raiden's super entertaining, man. He definitely has that part down. He has the personality down. So I said in his first video, if he can fight, then he could be a big fan favorite. So yeah, and I stand by that even after this fight, which didn't go his way. But anyway, so Raiden won the toss, and he was slapping first, and this wasn't a good slap, man. It was it was definitely a little bit short. It didn't land very clean. He seemed like he was out of range, and I think it has to do with the fact that like there's a size difference, man. Like he seemed like he was swinging up, and he almost had to like jump to reach him. Um, and so yeah, it was a pretty bad step. And it's definitely something that he's gonna have to clean up. But if he was going against someone like Isaac or Riley, who's like a little bit on the shorter side. Actually, Isaac's pretty tall for 55, but I would say like Riley, if he was going against like Riley, he doesn't have to reach like that, and his slap is going to look completely different. So, yeah, I really, it kind of sucks to even compare this fight, like compare these two guys, because again, I just think he's out of a weight class. So, um, on the surface, when you watch the fight, it could look like he's like straight up outclassed. I think that I mean the striking ability was definitely noticeable between the two, but I think it more so has to do with the size difference. But yeah, I noticed on Raiden's windup on this one, he goes right on three, and which I like. But his first two windups were kind of choppy and not like full. So it really wasn't even like a wind up almost. It's more just for placement, which is fine. I mean, if that works for him, it just didn't look that smooth to me. So that was something I noticed. And then, but I mean, we all know that Raiden's chin is proven. It's tough when you face someone as big as Josh. But in the first round, I mean, the guy was just eating slaps constantly. So would love to see him clean up the striking a bit, and I think he'll become a much more complete fighter, slap fighter, I should say. I know he can scrap. He does MMA. And then, so one thing I also noticed about Raiden, so this was fucking hilarious. When he was winding or when he was measuring, he was like, "I like that chin." That shit was fucking hilarious. Again, he's a showman. He's funny. He's got the personality, so he's got most of what you'd want already. And you can polish your slap. You can't necessarily polish your personality. So good to see from him. But I would have liked to have seen him do it like before he even like measured, like when he's just standing there. You don't want to break your focus, and it seemed like he was still in entertainment mode even when he was winding up, which is not, in my opinion, is not what you want to do. Like at that point, you need to be completely focused on the slap. But anyway, Josh was able to eat it, and it was an absolute textbook recovery by Josh. He didn't even say anything. He just did the little like two fingers, like small. And yeah, I say this sometimes. I think that there was a couple strikers from this episode that could have benefited from doing that, as opposed to opening their mouth. But you know, easier said than done. And hindsight's always 2020. But yeah, perfect playoff by Josh. Exactly what you want to do. And then on Josh's first lap, bro, this was an absolute bomb, dude. This was an absolute bomb. In the first round, Josh was missing deep on all his slaps, but you could tell that he made the adjustment. And I'm not sure whether he like leaned back a little bit more. It appeared to be the same exact windup. I'm not sure if he leaned back a little bit more or if he just tightened up his swing on his right hand side. He keeps his arm relatively bent, and he has a very fast cling bile windup. But one thing I love about Josh's slap on this one is, guess what? Your boy went right on two. I'm like the right on two. No one says right on two except me. And I swear, people are going to start doing it, man. This was right on the button, dude. Hammer and nail. I slowed it down, and it looked perfect, man. It looked perfect. It was a massive shot, and Raiden has a chin, but dude, there's nothing you can do about that, man. When someone as powerful as Josh lands right on the button, you're just going for the ride. I was impressed because Raiden didn't go out cold, so he still technically had a shot of recovering, and he tried, man. This kid's got heart. There's zero quit in this kid, which is something you got to love from him. He was trying to get up, but he was just so far gone from that slap, man. That was an absolute hammer. Definitely top 5 of the season, in my opinion. Slaps. After the season, when they announce the episodes, I'll probably do a recap of that and then go through the top 5 slaps. But I think that this one creeped in there. So yeah, amazing slap from Josh. It doesn't get much better. And then, so he's a man of few words. He doesn't really talk a lot of shit, but he talked a little shit after this one, and I don't blame him because Raiden was talking hella shit leading up to the fight. So he like looked at Dana and did the like rock the baby motion. I actually turned that into a meme. So if you haven't seen that, go check out my Instagram. You really want to be doing this as a fighter. Like if I was a fighter on Power Slap, I would be visualizing the knockout and visualizing exactly what I'm gonna do after. Like you don't get that many matches, man. You have to take advantage of every time you're on the camera. So I thought it was just absolutely brilliant to do that. Riley also did one like that, where he like did the I don't know. Like you should be doing that every time, man. You should know exactly what you're gonna do before you do it. And it's only going to help you to have these pictures that are meme worthy, and like you're going to need content later on, so you really want to be hitting these poses if you can in these for these photo ops. It's only going to help you moving forward, and I think a lot of people don't capitalize on that. So it was great to see from Josh. And then so moving forward, I mean, dude, it has to be Josh versus the Chief, man. Who doesn't want to see that fight? Come on, man. Josh has proven that he has a chin, and I think that he'll probably be able to eat one of those, man. So it just couldn't be a better matchup. Like the next person that the Chief goes against, like you need to put him against somebody with a chin to really test him and see where he's at. Because the guy's freaking amazing at the coin toss. So I don't see him. He must be calling tails because he wins every coin toss. And so yeah, I think it should be Josh versus the Chief at Power Slap 9. I think it'd be a mistake if you don't do that one. And yeah, those two are just complete stars in the making, man. As far as like coming out of the first round and making a statement, I think that he made the biggest leap, Josh, like from showing up the first time and then coming out of it. It was kind of like he kind of flew under the radar for me again a little bit coming out of the first round. But dude, how can you not love this kid after that one? Again, doesn't get much better. Hard to look much better. Comes out, loses the coin toss, eats a slap, and then knocks his opponent the fuck out. So yeah, I don't know how you can do much better. Really, really looking forward to tonight's episode. It's actually Wednesday when I'm recording this. I apologize for being late on these. You really have to understand that this Slap City page is like my third job. So yeah, you're gonna have to bear with me. But I got all 3 done before this airs, so I'm happy with that. There's a couple. I think there's one. I didn't get to do either of Brandon Rhodes' fights, so what I'm gonna do is I think I'm going to just do a video where I just break down both of them because they were both short. I don't want to miss out on that one though because like there was fouls, so anything that has to do with fouls should really be addressed, and I like to share my opinion on. So look out for that. And then yeah, tonight we got Amir coming in, my homie Amir. I can't wait to see him fight. Dude, we got Klingbile versus Luke. Come on, bro. They showed the slaps, a couple promo slaps from that fight. Doesn't get much cleaner, man. Somebody's going down in that straight up. And then, dude, you got Pow. You got Mr. Dash Right versus Seekman, dude. The freaking the mixed personality freaking serial killer, dude. Like, come on, dude. Dude, you want to talk about 2 scary ass dudes? Can't wait to see that fight. But yeah, anyway, I'm off on the tangent now. It was a great performance by Josh. For Raiden, it wasn't a good one, but dude, he'll come back from this, man. Again, I think he's up 2 weight classes, so really hard to look good when you're that undersized, especially against Josh, who's like the upper echelon in my opinion. So yeah, but congrats to Raiden on PS10, and then yeah, looking forward to tonight. Peace.